TitleMatchNetwork.com.
Ken Patera, some of your memories of working with Ken.
Well, Ken Patera was working in New York when I was working in Minneapolis for the AWA. He also went down and worked for Jim Crockett Productions. But Ken Patera, when I first saw him, he was, believe it or not, a bouncer at a bar with another gentleman whose name escapes me. Ken Patera and, Ric Flair. The Nature Boy was a bouncer.
Wow.
They bounced at a place called George's in the park, and you knew they had the bleach blonde hair, and they had it all going for them. Plus, they were, both pretty tough customers. They needed to be. Ken Patera, good man. He had some real rough breaks, and literally rough breaks in Milwaukee with that accidentally that brick falling out of his hands and going through the window.
What are your early memories of a young Ric Flair? You touched briefly on him.
My early memories of Rick. Rick was a student of Vern Gagne's. He went to the camp. He did very well. Vern Gagne's normal arrangement is he takes 10% of their income for the rest of their lives. I'm sure there's a cutoff somewhere you can make look.
All right.
But Ric Flair gave him the Italian salute and went down and started after a couple of matches. I covered his very first match in the AWA. But he went down to Carolina, kind of moved around a little bit, and got his own niche. And wow, I don't think he could have developed that persona if he would have been working for Vern Gagne, because Gagne would put a lid on him, and Flair is a wild man. As a matter of fact, he still is a wild man.
All right.
And a good friend, by the way.
You and Ric Flair had incredible chemistry together in WCW. Why do you think that was?
Ric Flair and myself had tremendous chemistry in the bar. And it just kind of rolled over into television.
Right.
No, I mean, he's a Minneapolis guy. He's, believe it or not, a little closer to my age than some of the people I worked with. But, yeah, I think the world of Ric Flair. He's a guy, the consummate guy that can do it in the ring, behind the camera, and he's a proven commodity.
Without a doubt. How big in the 80s were drugs in the business? Was it a big problem?
I think in both the 70s and the 80s, drugs were prevalent. I think they ceased here when all of a sudden this became the business that it was. Not to say that there wasn't some isolated incidents of drug use. But, hey, listen, I like martinis, but I had a little bit of everything myself through the years.
I was going to ask you where you were partier.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would partake,
Right.
but not to the extent that somebody else. I think a good vodka martini with one mushroom, one olive can do the trick.
Right.
Yeah.
You knew your limits.
Right. But it was a problem. A lot of things happened that shouldn't have happened because of drug use. Not just steroids, but I mean drug use.
Right.
And by 1986 or 87, they pull the string on that. Gone. If you're caught doing them, if you test positive, we send you on vacation.
Who do you think deserves to be in the Hall of Fame in the future?
Oh God, I've got a list of a lot of guys. Unfortunately, there's a few of them that have left us in this world. But I would say Dusty definitely belongs in the Hall of Fame. Ric Flair, future Hall of Famer. I wanted to see the Crusher and the Bruiser inducted, and unfortunately, they're both gone. How many dead guys can we induct in 1 year? But I think there's a lot of guys out there right now. Ricky Steamboat to me is a good candidate. Here's the problem we have: it's the WWE Hall of Fame. Do they have to be bona fide WWE stars or former stars, superstars? I think now that since the WWE is where it is, it represents the industry as a whole. Terry Funk, should be in the Hall of Fame.
Without a doubt. Mm-hmm.
Dory Funk Jr. should be in the Hall of Fame. And I mean, I can go on and on with that list.
TitleMatchNetwork.com